ladies, I want to do a video today about wet bags and just show you all the different wet bags that I purchased and show you maybe some other options as well that might be a little more economical. I did get carried away with wet bags. I'll start. I'll actually start here. This was the first one. This was the first one that I bought. It's Planetwise. It was about $13 if I recall. And this is the wet section here. It's lined with PUL. But I quickly realized that this was not big enough. This is the dry section here. And even though it does, the dry pocket does cover the entire front of the bag because it goes up under this lip here, it really is not big enough for what I want. So here's just a panty liner. This is just a Lunapads panty liner. And that's about all that fits. I mean, I realize I could fold up some regular pads. I could fold them up and get them in here, but it just seemed too small for me. So I looked for some larger bags. I also initially bought this one as well. And this is not a wet dry bag, it's just a wet bag. It has PUL lining in here and it has this drawstring. And it's really about the same size as this Planetwise small wet bag. So, and it's just a single pocket. So I really found this to be too limited as well. I mean, it's a pretty bag, and what I actually use it for, I'll show you quickly. I do actually use this, but I use it for my pee style, which is a stand-up to pee device, which I never would have thought that I didn't even know these existed, and I never would have thought that I would actually need one or could use one, but I have found it incredibly helpful. Especially when I'm traveling. So I actually just keep this in the car and a little bottle of water just to rinse off. So that fits in there perfectly, and I actually keep this in my car when I travel. If there's limited access to restrooms, or occasionally, some restrooms are not very clean. So this comes in really helpful. So I do actually use it, but not for pad storage. So these three in the front here, these are really my go-to wet bags now. These are just the right sizes. And I'll just show you in comparison, even though this first bag I showed is longer than, it's longer than this one. This size just works a lot better than this long and flat one. So this one is Lunapads. It's their moon bag, and it's just a really nice size. I really like it, even though it is kind of small. I do fold the pads up, so I'll show you. Let's do this one again. So I just fold the pads in half. I don't snap them or anything. I just fold them like that. And I can fit several in here. I mean, I can fit four pads in here easily. And I like that it has two separate compartments. So, this would be the dry side and this is the wet side. They're identical. You could use either one. They're both lined with PUL, so they're both appropriate for wet storage. So I like the size, fits just right, my hands, and fits down in my purse. And it has two separate compartments. And it's just so cute and discreet. It just looks like a cosmetic bag. So I really enjoy this one. It did not come with any way to hang it. So I borrowed this idea. It came only with this little Lunapads tag on the side. So this is not my idea. I can't take credit for it. This is a shower curtain hook. And it actually came on this set that I'll show you in just a moment. So I just took it off of that and put it onto here, so I have a way to carry this and hang it on a hook in a restroom stall. This was about $20, so a little more than the small Planetwise bag. This one is County Cloth Creations. It's an Etsy shop, and it is just so lovely. And I really like this size as well. It has this hook here to carry and to hang. It's a single compartment, but dual pockets. I'm not really describing that right. So just one zipper, but two sides inside. There's there's a PUL lining in here in the middle to separate the two compartments. And the seams are stitched separately from the outer seams so that it won't wick any moisture through. And this size just is really nice for me. It has just a nice feel. It's soft and flexible. I mean, I can even fold it and stick it down in my purse. It's a little narrower across and longer down than this next bag I'm going to show you, which works fine. This was about $15 or so, I believe. It was from Canada, so there was shipping with it. The shipping prices were reasonable. And then I found this one. This is my newest addition. This is from Naturally Hip, which is also an Etsy shop, and it's also from Canada, so there was some shipping time and cost. It was about 18 or 19, I believe. But when I saw this, I just had to have this, even though I already had some Wetbag solutions. I really did not need another one. But I just love this pattern. It's just gorgeous. And it has just a nice crisp feeling to it. It's just really nice. And this over here, this loop is a nice touch. It's actually made from an extra piece of zipper. I don't know if you can see that. So this matches the zipper on the top. So I thought that was a really cute touch. This is the same as the previous bag. It's a single zipper, but two pockets inside, separated by a piece of PUL. And it's also constructed the same. It's stitched separately from the outer seams. And this size I found I really prefer of all of the different choices. I really prefer this. It's longer or wider across the top and then shorter down compared to the County Cloth Creation. See, they're really about the same size if you turn it, but the way that it's oriented, it's wider across the top and does not go down as far. But I really like that because I find it easier to work with. Having this wider zipper at the top just makes it really easy to reach in here and see everything and find everything. So I have enjoyed this one very much. So these are all in about the same price range, all in the $20 range. So is this. This is something else I ordered from Etsy. This was from a shop called Diaper Bag Wrangler. And so these are diaper bag accessories. These were on sale, which is the reason I got them, and the print I just loved. I love anything with bicycles. So these are two separate items. They were $10 each, and I ordered them together, so $20 for the set. So that's about the same price as the other bags. This is the wet section, this little bag here. It's just a single compartment. But it's a nice size. It's roughly the size of the Luna Pads moon bag, roughly. And then the other section here is the dry storage. This was actually designed for wipes, baby wipes. So you'd put the clean diaper and the package of wipes down in here. And so it's just fabric on the inside. There's no waterproofing. But one thing that I really like about this is it has an extra pocket on the back. Now, I saw this in the pictures, and I really appreciated this extra pocket. But once I got it and started using it, I really haven't used this extra pocket because there's no closure here. So I haven't put anything in here just because I wouldn't want anything falling out. You know, if I jostle it around, something could fall out there. So I'd actually thought of adding a piece of Velcro here myself, or maybe a snap or something, just to keep it closed. It has both of these bags have these pretty ribbon hooks, and they also came with the shower curtain loop on it. So that was not, like I said, that was not my idea. That came on this bag, but because it has the ribbons as well, I didn't think that the shower curtain hooks were necessary. I actually looped these together with the ribbon, so they stay together quite well. You know, this big one here is Planetwise. It's not their largest size. This is their medium bag, and this one was about $21, I believe. So really about the same price as the others, but much larger. But it is not, you know, this is not nearly as convenient to carry around. I got this for travel. This is plenty. This is their medium bag. They have a larger one, but this is all the space that I need. This whole bag is the wet bag, and it's lined with PUL, and it's the same construction. It's the PUL seam is completely separate from the outer seam. So this is plenty of wet storage. I mean, this is all I would need if I was on a trip, and it has this loop here to carry and to hang, and it has a dry pocket on the front. So this dry pocket spans the entire size of the bag. So this is plenty of dry storage in here. This is all I would take with me on a trip if I were traveling. And you could fold it and make it a little easier to work with. You know, it's a rather large bag, I think, but you could fold it up if you needed to. So again, that was about $20 or so on Amazon. Another option are these. These are also Planetwise bags, and these are also diaper wipe bags. So, you know, this explains the shape. It would just be enough to slide some wipes down in here. These were on a website called Nicky's Diapers, and I'll post the link down below. These were in the sale section, marked as seconds. So they were incredibly cheap. They were $2.50 a piece. So I got the pair for $5. So far this has been the most economical solution for wet bags. For these two for $5 is just perfect. I got two different colors so that I can quickly identify between the dry section and the wet section, so I don't get them mixed up. And I used the other shower curtain hook down here to loop these together. Now you could also just add some Velcro in between here to keep them hooked together like this. And one thing to consider, the tags are down here at the bottom, which is where I loop them together. But if you hang it like this, the openings are at the bottom. So that's just something I have to be careful with, opening it like this so that nothing falls out. So there you go. There's a less expensive wet dry bag solution. And these are also an option. These are actually reusable sandwich and snack bags. But I think that these would work well for wet bags as well, for smaller size. These over here are Planetwise, and I also found these on Nicky's Diapers in the sale section. They were about $3 a piece, marked down. Normally $7 or $8, but marked down to $3 a piece. And I got these actually. I did get these for my son's school lunches, but they would work well for wet bags. I think I'll show you the inside. They have Velcro, and then they have inside a very thick plastic lining. It does go all the way to the seams, but these are rather water resistant. I notice this when I'm cleaning these. My son uses these for lunches, so it does hold water in here, and it's a nice size. You could fit a couple of pads, several pads in here if you had to. And if you wanted a combination for wet and dry, you could take two of these and put some Velcro here to hold them together as a wet dry bag. Or you could actually just, since they have Velcro on them, you could put these together like such. If you just overlap them, line up the Velcro and overlap them, and then you've got a wet and dry together. So when you open it, you'd have like your dry section and your wet section hooked together. So that's another option. That would be about $6 for both, and you could fit several pads in there. These snack bag sizes are really too small, in my opinion, to use for wet dry bags. But you could fit a few panty liners maybe, or a few Luna pads inserts. If you're just using Luna pads, you could fit some in there. And the same thing, if you had two of these. Like if you're just taking Luna pad liners with you, or inserts rather, you could put them together and have a wet and dry compartment to carry with you. And that's small enough that would just fit down in your purse. And again, that would be about a $6 solution. These I ordered from an Etsy shop called Hustle Mama. These are sandwich and snack bags that I got for my son's school lunches, but we ordered a set. We ordered a rainbow set, and some of these patterns he didn't care for. These two in particular, the colors and the design were just a little too girly for his taste, and he wasn't crazy about this one either. So these are mine. These don't ever go in the lunches. I use these for pads. This one, the sandwich size, I like the design of these because they just flip. It's just really easy to open. There's no noisy Velcro or snaps or anything. So this is pretty roomy. I'll show you. Let me try I've got about 3 pads here. It will hold more, but there's 3 pads really easily. Now that the top, because of this fold over flap, this is not as closed as the other wet bags. But I think it would do fine. I mean, if you just put it down in your bag like this, it'll be fine. This lining is nylon, and it actually is quite water resistant. The seams on the seams do go through all the way. But when I'm washing these after my son has used them for lunches, not these, but the other ones, I noticed that it really does hold water quite well before it starts to get wet through the seam. It does eventually get wet, but that's actually like washing it, actually putting water into it. So if you're just putting your soiled pads, I think it's unlikely that it would leak at all. So that's an option for you. These were about we bought these in a set, and so it worked out to be about $2.50 a piece. I don't remember how many were in the set or how much the price, but I'd figured out that it was about $2.50 a bag. Now these I actually do use quite a bit for keeping extra pads handy, because I really don't want to be in a situation where I would ever have to use disposables again. So I would rather always have some pads with me available and not be caught by surprise. So these pads, these bags I actually do use. Here's a couple of pads, and I just kind of fold them over each other so they take up less space that way. And so just two pads. Really, I wouldn't need. Just one would do in a pinch. But I keep a couple of extra pads like this, and it's just so discreet. Nobody would ever know what this is. I actually keep this one in my car, in the glove box, tucked in the glove box, and it's just so inconspicuous. And that way I always have some pads with me if I'm traveling for the day. And this one I keep a couple of pads. If I'm not on my period and I'm not carrying one of these other wet bags with me, then I just keep the same thing, or just a couple of pads, and I stick it down in my purse, so that I always have some cloth pads with me. So that's it, ladies. Like I said, these were worked out to be about $2.50 a piece. So one other thing that I did want to show is, you also, if you were traveling, if you did not want to spend the $20 on a larger size wet bag for traveling, you could just use a laundry bag if you have one. This would not be appropriate for wet storage, of course, but you could take all the pads with you that you need for your trip in your if you have a mesh laundry bag. And for the wet storage, you could just take any old tote bag. This is just a bag I use for the market, and so I don't actually use this for pads. But you could, if you just had a tote bag, you could just get a large Ziploc bag for your your wet storage, and you could keep that. Just keep that down in this bag, and nobody would see what it is. This bag actually has a snap at the top, and so nothing is gonna fall out. So you could take your dry pads and your wet storage and keep it all here when you travel. So that's another economical solution. So that's it, ladies. I hope that this has helped. I really did get carried away on wet bags and spent more money on it than I needed to. I know there are lots of other options for wet and dry bags besides the ones that I showed. I know there are a lot of things out there, but hopefully this gave you some idea of the different sizes and prices, different things that you could look into, and maybe it'll help you make a decision. That's it, ladies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.